Hi guys, welcome to another video. So this video is to answer some questions that I allowed I allowed you guys to ask me questions where I can kind of give back and just kind of do a little free advice, free reading kind of a thing. So I put the I put it on my stories. And I didn't want to announce it because I didn't want to get a super large amount of requests. So I figured I'm just going to quietly put this up, and whoever sees it and whoever wants to, ask a question, they can ask a question. And then I deleted it. I deleted it after 12 hours or so, just in case, because I didn't want to get too many requests. And so this is just my little way of giving back. So I have a few of you who asked questions. I had to write them down because I use my phone to film. So we're going to just get into it. I'm going to pull cards for some of the questions to kind of give a little short, mini, tiny, ultra mini reading. But yeah, so first one is She's Spirited. She's Spirited asked, how do you answer tarot clients when they ask when something will happen? So I have a little way of, sorry if you hear noise. It's the garbage truck. Anyways, so when a client asks for a timeline, it's really important for me, at least for me, this is my opinion. It's really important for me to tell the client that I'm going to give you a time frame, but nothing is set in stone. And that's the way I read. Anytime I do a future forecast reading, time frames, possibility, prediction, anything like that, I do not have a set in stone, this is the final answer kind of an answer, okay? So I always make sure that I give my client that heads up because sometimes clients will take it word for word. So I always express that. And then, so let's say a client was asking, when they're going to get the call back for a job, which is a common question. So let's say I pulled the card and I pulled the Knight of Cups. Okay, and then I pull another card and I pull the 9 of Cups, and then I usually pull in 3, so let me just pull 3. So I pulled the 10 of Cups. So looking at this, right off the bat, I would say just based off the cards that I pulled, I would say yes, you will be getting a call back. It could be a male calling back because it is a Knight of Cups that is popping up, but it doesn't always have to mean that. And then I would say around the time frame, I would say it could be anywhere from 9 to 10 days or up to 10 weeks, or the 9th, the 10th, or the 19th, the 29th, the 10th, the you know what I mean? Using the numbers, I use the numbers to correlate into it. Depending on the time frame, so let's say because we're thinking about a job callback, it's usually within a few months. So if we're close to the months of September and October, obviously the 9 and 10 would symbolize September and October. So when I do my readings like that, that's how I utilize the numbers. Sometimes I get multiple cards with numbers. I'm usually drawn to a particular card for some reason. That's just me trusting my intuition. So that's how I go about it. But it's very important that you make sure you explain to the client that nothing is set in stone. Things can change based on their actions. At least that's the way I put it, because really nothing is set in stone in life. I hope that helps. Muffy asked, can you give advice for reading court cards? So Muffy, I actually have a video that I think I filmed it 3 or 4 years ago, so it's pretty old. But I do have a video where I shared how to read court cards and all of that. So I'm going to link it below in the description box. So please make sure you check the description of this video and find the link and check out that video. But just for a quick run through. So when I pull cards, and if a court card comes through, so let me just grab a couple court cards just to have a visual. Of course, when I need them, they're not around. And let's get a queen. Okay, let's get a queen. Okay, so you know what? And let me get a page because we have one of each. Just so we have one of each. Okay. So very quickly, I don't know. The advice I give you right now might be different from the video. Like I said, the video is 3 or 4 years old. So my reading style might have enhanced a bit, but for the most part, it's probably the same. Court cards can represent people, okay? So they can represent literal people in your life. They can represent yourself, okay? They're personality traits. They are descriptions of people, so to speak. But they're pretty much like personality traits and essences of people. The other thing is they can relate to actions and the type of action to take in a situation. So, for example, the pages are usually like children to young, like preteens, young people. They're also learners and students. They are people who are very like youthful, but they're also at the very bottom of the food chain. They have to work their way up. They got to pay their dues types of people. So they're not, you could be like 50 years old and be a page of wands where you're fresh in a new job, a new career, and you're learning the ranks, Doesn't really matter about age, but if you want to correlate age to it, pages are young people or children. And then we have the knights. So the knights are like, you could look at them as teenagers. They're young adults. Usually they're like in their late teens to early 20s. These are people who are really full of energy, and the action with the knights is usually like taking action. Pages are wanting to learn, knights are starting to get the ball rolling, right? Then there's a whole plethora of like personality traits for each individual one, but you're gonna have to do your own research. The queens, so the queens are like the age groups like 30s to 40s. And these are people who are very much settled in their careers. They have a good handle on things. They have a really good emotional balance with their life and their career. Like they're really good. They're in a good place. They know what they want. They know how to get it kind of people. They're also very nurturing types, and they like to weigh out their options. They do not act impulsively, whereas the knights tend to be a little bit more impulsive. And then you have the kings, who are usually in the, if you're looking at the age group, I would say like 50 plus. These are people who are completely settled. Sometimes this is an age group of people who are starting to go into the realm of retirement. This could be the people who are they're just so grounded in their work and in their life, in their marriage, and so and blah, 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 blah. They're very much settled. But they are also wise. They have a lot of experience under their belt, that type of thing. But they can also be problematic. They can also be very old-fashioned. They can also be very rigid. They can also they need a little bit of a zest of that page essence in them, because as you get older, you kind of lose that coolness. Like sometimes I don't know what happens with some old people. Like they lose all sense of what they went through in life, and then they're just like back to square one. So yeah, so those are the court cards. Please watch the video. I will put it below. And like I said, there's so much more with the court cards, so I recommend picking up a tarot book and checking out the court cards, because you're gonna learn a lot. Okay, so I have two from Ariel Puet. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. What is holding my hubby back with his career situation? So I'm going to pull quick cards on this. What is holding him back on his career situations? I don't really know. I don't know like the back end story. Like, is he wanting to change his career entirely, or is he looking for promotion or whatnot? So let's just kind of see roughly what the cards show, and then we'll go based on that. Okay, so I have the Four of Wands, the Justice card, I have Hangman, and I have King of Pentacles. So right off the bat, I'm kind of feeling like some of the things that he may be seeing issues is with home life, or being able to, create that balanced foundation. So one thing that might be stopping him is the finances. Okay, so a career change, anytime there's a career change, the finances is usually the number one thing that would keep us from making the move or not. A King of Pentacles tells me that either he is the breadwinner, or he's very mindful of his money and the way he spends it. So obviously the money stuff is on his mind 100%. And then we have the foundation or the Four of Wands, which is like the house, the home life, being able to make mortgage payments, being able to, you know, still provide the way he's being able to provide right now. The Justice card is, to me, is a balance. Like, so he is weighing out his options. The Justice card also kind of makes me feel like he's still staying within the same kind of line of work that he's doing. So I'll just say criminal justice kind of stuff. And so I would say that if he's looking for career change, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to tell. I can't say what he should be doing, but just based off of the Justice card. Sorry, my window's like right here and I can hear everything. And those trash trucks are loud. Based on the Justice card, I would say something still within his means, that is still within what he is used to doing. Because a completely different career change might be really scary. The Hangman is telling me he should be putting himself in other people's shoes. So if he hasn't already, like, so if this is like a promotion he wants to do, he should be doing some kind of internship or like being around the people that are already fulfilling the career that he's doing, so he can get a taste for it, a feel for it, to see if this is truly something he wants to do. And so I feel like it's just the mystery, the unknown, and then a bit of the finances. Okay, let's see. The other question you asked is, what should I be doing to improve overall health? What is keeping me from doing so? So overall health, what is keeping you from doing so? We have the Emperor, the Knight of Swords, and the Strength card. So the Emperor is kind of like, I feel like with the Emperor and the Strength, it's almost like you have like two sides to your personality or the makeup of your motivation. So we have like the boss side, where it's like you're really rough on yourself, you're really hard on yourself, and when you want to get healthy and whatnot, you go really hard and go strong. But that usually wears out, because with the Strength card, I'm kind of seeing more of like a nurturing, gentle approach to your health and taking it slow. So I kind of see it's like a little bit off balance. There are two extremes. And then what's in the middle was the Knight of Swords, and he's so impulsive, and he is so like quick to action, and he doesn't think. He doesn't consider what is oh my goodness. He doesn't think, and he doesn't consider what is happening around him. So I would say when it comes to your health, go baby steps. And just because and I feel like maybe you compare yourself to other people's health levels. So just because someone else is running a mile at so-and-so amount of minutes doesn't mean that you need to. Okay. And I feel like that's like something we all need to realize. And I know me too, is that we can't compare ourselves and our where we're at health-wise to other people, because everybody is different, right? And so I feel like you need to look at it just solely from your perspective. A structured workout might be really good for you. So maybe designated 3 days out of the week that you're going to do something specific. And then a nurturing workout, something where you're going to start slow and you're going to start like baby steps. Same thing with the food and eating and changing it up a little bit. And then that Knight of Swords, I would say don't go for impulse buys. Don't go buying like all this workout equipment and overwhelm yourself. Don't go buying all these amazing, expensive workout outfits, thinking that it's going to motivate you. Sometimes it's just like wear what you have and work with what you have if you're doing workouts from home and whatnot, and then build up to it. Because I feel like it's easy to buy all the stuff that we need, and then when it gets to actually physically doing it, we just fall off the bandwagon. At least I know I do. So I hope that helps. Next I have Shadow Moon Witch. Shadow Moon Witch asked, I'm a budding medium. How can I trust my experiences? So I am a budding medium. How can I trust my experiences? So I'm going to give you a little bit of my advice, and then I'm also going to pull cards. Okay. So I pulled the Lovers, the Eight of Swords, and the Star. So how can I trust myself? One, practicing on other people. So the Lovers to me is kind of like your one-on-one. Sorry, I'm like itching my legs. My legs get itchy. And when I wear shorts, like I always want to scratch and then I get itchy. Okay. The Lovers card is kind of like, to me, the one-on-one, working one-on-one with other people. So the more that you offer little readings, and I don't mean like you got to do full-blown readings. No. If you're going to do free readings, do a quick little 5-minute reading. You know what I mean? And practice, because practicing is going to help you feel so much stronger and more confident. I also feel like when you do a free reading for exchange of feedback, that's gold. And start building your feedback, your testimonies to put on your website or whatever, so that when people go look at you to see if they want to get a reading from you, they can already see what good things people are saying about you. The other thing I see is kind of like the angel in the middle is kind of like that middle person, that middleman between you and spirit. So I feel like it's like utilizing your guides and trusting what they're telling you. And that's like part of my advice, because that goes hand in hand with the 8 of Swords. You got to trust what you're receiving. And that's a huge part of readings, is that you're receiving something for a reason. When you trust more of it, it's going to come naturally. I feel like I have to burp. I think it's because I talk too fast and I forget to breathe. And the 8 of Swords is kind of like you're stuck in your head. So you're overthinking it too much, and then you end up blocking yourself, right? And then I have the Star card for you. And to me, the Star card is like, I feel like this is just saying, let it flow. Learning to just let it flow. When you let your messages flow, whatever you're getting, say it out loud. Chances are you're going to find that the person you're reading for is going to be receiving those messages exactly the way they need to hear it. It is, and one of the biggest tips that I took from one of the books that I read on mediumship is that it's not your job to interpret the messages. So that might sound a little backwards because we're readers, right? But when you get a message from spirit, that person that you're reading for, obviously they've had a lifetime with that person that they're getting the reading from, right? Or so to speak, if it's like a past loved one. So it is not your job to interpret what spirit is trying to say to that loved one, right? You're simply that middleman. Like, you're simply the person in the middle to deliver the message, right? And so when spirit is telling you things, or they're showing you symbols, or they're showing you colors or whatever, sometimes you just have to deliver the message and just tell the person, hey, this is what I'm receiving. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm hearing, and go from there. Another thing is utilize another tool aside from just receiving message. So for me, like when I'm pulling tarot cards, a lot of times it's like the tarot cards help to give a little bit more detail from what you're receiving from spirit. But at least that's kind of like the best advice I could give on that topic. Okay, so Jay Gucci 03 says, I need advice on dealing with adult children. So the one thing, and like, again, I'm going to be giving advice alongside my reading. So let me just pull the cards real fast. Okay. So, I pulled the 10 of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Fool card. So basically this is telling me, so the 10 of Pentacles is kind of like that family card, right? At least I see it as a family card. It's a lot of togetherness. It's a lot of attention. There's a lot of different things happening. But the thing is that when you have adult children, you have to, and I don't have kids. I don't have kids, but I'm trying to put myself in my mom's shoes. Because all of her kids, all of us are grown. And so you will always be their parent, and you will always have, your advice to give. But at the same time, when you were a parent of children who were under 18, who needed your guidance and needed your permission, it's one thing. But when you have children who are of age, who are making their own decisions and who can make their own mistakes, and they have to learn from their mistakes, you kind of have to take a back seat. And as hard as that might be at times, it's so necessary, because you need to allow them to grow. And that's kind of what I'm seeing, is like the 10 of Pentacles is like that your children will see, based off of your experiences, what they learned growing up with you as their mother. And then just the life dynamic of how you guys are now, they're still observing everything that goes on in the family and what you do and this and that. But then also I'm seeing kind of like that Fool card, and then the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is, they know what they want to do and they're going to do it regardless, right? So you could simply just give your love, your blessing, your guidance, right? Giving your advice, giving your tips, your 2 cents here and there. But you can't be upset if they choose not to take it, because they are grown adults and they're going to do what they want to do. And even if you know that what they're doing, they're going to make a mistake or they're going to regret it later, you still have to just let them do it because they got to learn, right? And that's what the Fool is all about. So it's kind of funny that it's kind of funny that the Fool came out, because the Fool is like, whether I'm smart or not, I'm going to do whatever I want, right? And the Fool is going to do his thing, and he's going to jump off the cliff, and he's not going to know who's going to catch him, but he's going to take the risk anyway. You got to let your babies do it, right? You got to let your kids do it. So I would say when you're adults, when you're an adult to adult children, even though you know that they're going to make the mistakes, at least you'll be there to help them clean up the mess. And to me, that's what being a good parent is that you're going to give them guidance, but you're going to allow them the freedom, because they're adults, to make their mistakes and to do their choices and do their thing. But you will always be there to help them clean up the mess as long as you want to, because you're their mother, you know? So it's touchy, but it's kind of what it is. It's like the parenting thing never ends, but then it kind of does at age 18 to an extent. So the best thing you could do is give them guidance and love them and wish them well. XXSDO7XX asked, stuck in a back and forth friendship, how are chances to solve this confusion? So stuck in a back and forth friendship. Let's see. Ooh, so I pulled the Magician, the Strength, and the Knight of Swords. Now, intuitively, when I was reading your question, the first thing that I was thinking is there needs to be a big intervention happening. If this is a back and forth between you and a friend, or if it's like multiple friends, I think everybody just needs to meet up. You guys all need to agree, okay, we're going to meet up here, preferably somewhere that is like where you guys have a lot of privacy, because the conversation can get heated. But I feel like there needs to just be everyone goes into a room, you guys all hash it out. There needs to be a lot of talk. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with that Knight of Swords. There just needs to be a lot of like getting stuff off your chest. As far as like making the friendship work, I feel like there is a possibility of mending it. But I also feel like there needs to be a lot of stuff coming out. Someone has more to say than the other person, and I'm just getting that sense that someone needs to really express what's happening in their mind. And I feel like maybe this was a little bit of a misunderstanding. So the more that you guys come together and talk about it, the stronger the bond will be. And I feel like the Magician is kind of like miracles can happen. So as much as you might think that this friendship is completely over, I feel like there's still potential, but there needs to be and even if it takes hours, there needs to be a day where all of you guys meet up and you just let it out, and there's no holding back. Like, you all agree to listen and let everybody speak, and you agree to let it all out. There's no hiding, there's no secrets, nothing. You just let it all out. And whether the friendship is completely destroyed after that or not is up to those of you involved. But I feel like things can be stronger after the shit is taken out. Okay, 2 more. So Mags asked advice for 2020. So let's pull some cards for your 2020. This one. Okay. So 2020, I'm seeing a King of Pentacles, the Lovers, and 2 of Pentacles. So I don't know if you're in a relationship or not, but if you're single, 2020 can reveal perhaps a connection being made, so love connection of some sort. If you're in a relationship, this could be strengthening the bonds between you and your lover. This could be major decisions and choices needing to be made regarding love or your career and whatnot, because you have a 2 of Pentacles. So when a 2 of Pentacles shows up, that is, you're at a crossroads, you are like having to make a big decision in your life, something is going to pop up, and it could be more than one decision, more than one like crossroads you might, you know, find yourself in throughout 2020. And then the King of Pentacles is, to me, for the finances. You really need to think about your finances this year, whether that is putting some more money away into the savings account, paying off your debts, or maybe this could be a promotion at work, a new, you know, maybe you'll find a position opening up that's going to be an increase in pay. The Knight of Pentacles can be that. But either way, the Knight of Pentacles is, or the King of Pentacles is he's very business savvy, and he makes really good choices, and he's very good with his money flow. Obviously, he's just all part of earth energy right here. So he has a lot of abundance with the money. So it's going to be a really abundant year for you financial wise, but only if you're making the right decisions. Okay. And then Naomi Malone 7, I think it's Malone, asked, what do I need to do to make my tarot business a success? So let's see. What do I need to do to make my tarot business a success? I just pulled the same cards. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Let's actually shuffle. I was like, I pulled the exact same cards from the previous one, so. All right. What do I need to do to make my tarot business a success? There we go. I love it. Okay. So I pulled the Death card, the 7 of Cups, and the Fool for you. So first things first, I'm going to talk about intuitively. So when I read your question, intuitively what I was hitting on was you need to decide if this is something you really want to do seriously. Now, your tarot biz can always be a side hustle, right? It doesn't have to be a full-time gig. It doesn't have to be the career that brings home the money that pays the bills, right? It doesn't have to be. So I think the first thing that you need to do is make up your mind about it, because I see the 7 of Cups, which to me is like there's a lot of things on your plate of what you want to do and you haven't yet made your choice. And so I feel like it's like first you need to make up your mind. Do I want to be full-time with my tarot biz, or is it going to just be a side hustle, and am I still going to pursue other endeavors, right? First things first is you got to figure that out, because if you're kind of just teetering on, I don't know what I want to do right now, your business is going to feel, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do right now. So you got to kind of make up your mind with that. The next thing I'm feeling is with the Death card is sacrifices in order to gain something new, right? So change is on the horizon and change is there, the potential for it, but sometimes we have to say goodbye to something else in order to receive what new thing is coming our way. So Death card is nice, it's good, it's transformation and change, but it comes with a little bit of a what's the word, like a price, right? Nothing is free. So if you do feel the change coming on the horizon as far as your business goes, or perhaps the Death card is saying you're going to need to make some changes in your business or what it is that you're doing in order to attract more abundance, right? You're going to have to make changes. And so whether that is changes in the way that you're doing your readings right now, or the changes in the way that you are approaching your readings in your business, are your social media accounts being updated on a regular basis? How much time are you willing to devote to your tarot business? What kind of services are you offering? Are you offering services right now? How much? Is it working for you? Do you have a website? Like those kind of things. And I feel with the 7 of Cups, I feel like the 7 of Cups is almost like you see the change on the horizon for yourself and you know what you need to do, but there's so much on your plate. So I would say you got to start cleaning up your priorities here, right? Fixing some things, like figuring things out, giving yourself a timeline. Do I want to take this full time or not? What do I want to do? What direction do I want to go? And then start walking through those doors of opportunity. The Fool card is taking that risk and that adventurous, like, approach to your tarot business. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of new things. Don't be afraid of the unknown is basically what that card is saying to me. So I hope that helped. And I hope that you guys enjoyed your readings. And so I hope to offer these again at another time and see if anyone else will, chime in. But yeah, so I just wanted to come on here, do some quick readings for you guys. Thank you guys for those of you who put in some requests and stuff. I hope that this helped, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, love.